Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Meloncita and today I'm going to be doing my monthly reflections for the month of March. So if you're interested in seeing how March went, then keep watching. So March was a pretty busy month. It was a lot happening and a lot going on, a lot prepping for, and you know, I did get a lot done. So first, we'll take a look at the monthly for March. This is where I keep track of the weekly actions that I completed in the month. Yeah, so as you can see, there actually is quite an array of the different colors in the Makse Life. This is my Makse Life color key. It's not the exact colors, but these are the colors that I use in mine in the different areas of life. And so as you can see, like I said, it's a lot of mix. There's a lot of orange, there's a lot of yellow, a lot of green. There are some blues and some purples as well. So I kind of hit a lot of the areas of life. At least I think so. Here is the first week of March in my planner. Second week of March in my planner. You might have seen some of these in my videos. Where I do kind of like my weekly check-ins. So a lot of this might not be new. This is the last week that we were in. As you can see, I updated some of my trackers, but the thing that I found is that I'm not really using this to keep track of my tasks. And it's just an observation that I made. So let's take a look at the actual monthly goals I had set up. So these were the monthly goals that I had set up for each area of life. To recap, for personal, I have some of my memory keeping journaling to finish. So I have finished February 2025, which I completed. It's like my photo creative memory journal. I started March 2025. I actually did 3 weeks instead of the 2, and I also set up the monthly. And then I actually did 1 week of January of this year, 2026, just to get the ball rolling. I'm working on the second week now. Which is great. I'm creating a lot of momentum, and it's one of my favorite things that I just love working on and I love doing. So for fun and recreation, I have read 2 books. So I actually ended up finishing 3 books. So 2 of them were from a book club, and then another one was just one that I wanted to read. So the first one that I finished was Lights Out, which is the book from last month. This month's book club read is A Dowry in Blood. Both of them were okay to me. And then the other one the last book that I finished reading was ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses. I'm reading in anticipation for October when the new book releases. I'm trying to get a head start now before all of the copies at the library are taken, because I borrow all of my books from the library for the most part. And so yeah, there was already like quite a long hold for the books. And so I was glad that I was able to get ACOTAR done. I was also reading Becoming. So I'm going to check that because I did read it, but I didn't technically finish it. I'm listening to the audiobook of it. And so I'm listening to Michelle Obama read through the book. And so that's actually been really cool. I don't usually do audiobooks because I tend to zone out, or like I don't pay attention, except for like autobiographies or memoirs. Like Ina Garten's, I was able to listen through because like it was like she was telling me a story. And then this one now I'm actually paying attention to. So I'm really happy with that. And then play 2 video games. So I started up Red Dead Redemption 2 on my Steam Deck. And then I also started playing Super Mario World on I have a 3DS. And so I was playing it on there. Both of them very good games. It's just finding pockets of time, and they're so different from each other. So like Red Dead Redemption 2 is a game that I have to like dedicate time normally at the end of the night, where I won't get interrupted. So because like some of these missions are really long and I want to get things done. And then Super Mario World is the exact opposite of that, where I can kind of just pause, put it down, and come back to it when I can. So I think that's why I was playing both of them. It's just they're both on my portable devices, so I can be anywhere in the house to play. So those are going well. For work and learning, I have HB90, and I have been doing that. I completed Q1, and I am prepped for Q2. I'm thinking about doing a video about HB90 just to kind of recap and reflect on how Q1 went and then how Q2 is going to go and what I'm going to be doing and what I changed. So we'll see. And also how I incorporate that into my weekly actions and into like my Makse Life into this planner. So I'll be thinking about that and thinking of how I want to do a video about that. So that's coming. So for family and relationships, I have reached out to family and friends, which I actually reached out to everybody that I wanted to, and I got some party prep done. So that's exciting. For health and wellness, I have 28,000 steps weekly, which I did hit 2 out of the 4 weeks of March. But actually, I came pretty close for each of the weeks that I didn't hit it. And so, I think that's a great start for changing it up. And then drink water daily. I drink water every day, not necessarily counting how much like I actually drank, but just getting a sip of water is important. So that's what I did. For my study, I only did 1 week, which was week 5. And then I wanted to focus on one park and new trail, which I'm going to say that I technically didn't do, but my daughter and my husband did. I'm not going to say that I did that. So for financial, I have no spend 2 times weekly for food or eating out and 500 extra to the credit card. So let me see. So I did it 3 of the 4 weeks. The last week I didn't. It's just been a crazy end of the month. And I was able to do 500 extra to the credit card, which is great. Yay. For physical, I put hang up wall art and things. I did not do that. So instead of spring decor, I changed it to organized sewing things because I actually did do that. And also I found that with our daughter, she is very interested in the decorative stuff. And so we just haven't put anything up because she wants to grab everything, which is fine. So we just didn't put anything up. We're just taking it all in because we are entering spring now and the flowers are blooming and it's really nice. So passports. So I have worked on it, but I don't have the application submitted. So I'm just going to transfer that over to the next month. But so that's how the month of March went. Now I'm going to go over the March monthly reflections, and I actually did this on my own because there was a lot to think about. And this is how my March 2026 monthly reflection looks like. This is just like an ARC paper that I found that I used with some really, really old Happy Planner stickers. Obviously, each question is important, but these are just like headers that I pulled up just to use to separate each question and then just putting in like random stickers everywhere. So these are the reflections for the month of March. These questions are from the Makse Life system, and so I'll just go through them one by one and kind of talk about them. So the first question is, my biggest wins this month were step goal weekly worked out better than I thought, which I talked about. In my previous videos, I've talked about it, but instead of a daily goal, I have a weekly goal. And so it provides like flexibility for me to kind of like either stack those steps like either throughout the week or like save it for the end of the week and then add up all of the steps in the week and then hit 28,000. And that's my goal. And it's been working way better for me at least. I also finished 3 books, which I talked about. I got a week done in 2026 January memory. I got 3 weeks done in March of 2025, and I have just 1 more. And I went to an event and met some amazing people. And that's going to come in later. So things that are currently working in my life. Memory planning, love it so much, and it makes me so happy. Spending quality time with family, mainly because I am not on social media due to Lent. And so, or I shouldn't say that. I have limited amount of social media time due to Lent. Oh yeah, I guess due to Lent. And so that's helped out a lot. Just being disconnected from all of that. And then connecting when I want to or when I can. Things that are currently not working in my life, health and fitness things, and spiritual growth. And using my planner for actual planning, like my to-dos and all of that, this planner specifically. I don't know why. It's just, there really isn't time for me to kind of just sit down and write down my to-dos. It all just is in my head, or it's very routine already. And I just don't write down the details to do in my planner. I kind of know what I have to do each day. We have a set routine with my daughter, and so I don't really need to write everything down in here, at least not yet. And I think that's why I haven't been in here. What I learned this month: I love to memory plan, journal, and scrapbook. I was way ambitious with my work goals and what I was expecting to be, where I was expecting to be at this time. So that has to do with my HB90 goals. I set the bar really high, and progress is progress, but it was still way higher than I expected. I'm sorry. I set myself up to expect higher, but I didn't perform at all. So, that's okay. That's just the nature of it. But it was just, I was over excited, but reach for the stars, I guess. And reevaluate my spiritual goals, bringing back kind of community plans. And so previous years for Makse Life, I have found that spiritual and personal growth have been like the lowest for me, mainly because finding like my community, finding like family around here, like found family and just others that I can connect with has been kind of difficult. And so I kind of, for this year, I didn't actually add a goal for that. But now with our daughter, I feel that I should probably bring that back. And with the Makse Life system, you can do that. You can do whatever you want. So the next question: what improvements or adjustments do I need to make going into next month? I need to adjust for our trip. So I'm going to cut down some videos for the month to accommodate that. And reevaluate my annual goals, change around some of them. And so you will see we've already seen kind of like a slowdown of videos, and that's because there's just a lot happening right now. But I still want to keep going with a lot of the stuff that I'm doing, and just reevaluate my annual goals, like how I said. What am I most grateful for right now? Being a mama, having a beautiful daughter, partnering with an amazing husband, and having my support system. All of those things I'm really grateful for. I'll get a spoiler for April, I guess. Habits I want to nurture next month is steps weekly again and tarot pulls. And so I've been finding that I've been kind of a little lost. And so I want to try to do, I used to do like a tarot pull, a daily tarot pull. I think like 2 years ago, and then I kind of dropped it. But it really helped to like center and ground me in the mornings. And so I want to try to incorporate that again next month. But no like hard and fast rules, just something I want to try. Area I want to focus on next month is definitely going to be family and relationships, because there's a lot happening next month for that. And then rate overall satisfaction for this month an 8. Which is pretty high, but not in the way that I expected. So I rated it 8 because there were a lot of things that I was able to accomplish and get done, and a lot of activities and events that really like filled my cup and filled my heart. And so like something else had to give, which was kind of just like my planning, and not my journal. Yeah, my planning and just my health and wellness and stuff like that. But and my study. So, give and take, but finding that balance, I think I found kind of where my heart is leading me towards. So those are my monthly reflections for the month of March. And then I also did my quarterly goals for the Makse Life. So I'm going to do this video a little bit differently because it is the end of the first quarter. And so I'm also going to talk about my quarterly review for the Makse Life. So the quarterly review, what you do is you kind of reflect on how the quarter went. In the planner, you have a compass assessment. The instructions just say to kind of rate the areas of life, just giving it a number, and then seeing if you increase, decrease, or stay the same in those areas, and then asks you some questions. So what I do is I actually go back to the beginning of the planner and go back to the assessment scoring. It's also the similar free resource that you can find on the Makse Life website, where you answer 8 of the questions. and then you find the average for each area. I find that that's much more of a controlled way to get consistent results. So I think that's the correct words. Basically, like in science, you want to make sure that you're keeping everything the same, right? So that you can see the changes and not have any extra variables. So if you use the same questions every quarter, the same questions that you use in the beginning of the year, that should give you a more accurate representation of the kind of rating that you have for each area. So instead of like printing it out, I actually just like, since I have a digital version, I just read the paper and just write out the number, add it all together, find the average, and then compare it to the beginning of the year. These are my results for that Compass assessment for this quarter. So for personal, I got an 8.5, which is an increase. For fun and rec, I got a 7.65, which is an increase. Work and learning, it stayed the same. Family and relationships, 7.75, so that was an increase. Health and wellness was a 6.125, which was a decrease. Spiritual growth was 6.25, which is another decrease. And financial, which was 7.25, was a decrease. Physical was 7.5, and that was the same. So that's the first question. Well, the question is overall my scores increase, decrease, or stay the same. I was kind of all over the place, and so obviously I'm focusing on more areas and letting go of some other areas. That seems pretty clear to me, and it makes sense with how many weekly actions I get done. What personal actions contributed the most to these results? So what I put was focusing on the fun things that also aligned with my HB90 work things. So like memory planning, journaling, reading, playing video games, those things are kind of things that I justify in focusing on because it has to do with my HB90 stuff and like my work stuff, right? I'm unsure of quality time with my family and prioritizing their times. So quality time with my daughter, quality time with my husband, those, and that's why family relationship I think increased as well, because I mean they are going to be the priority no matter what. So that makes sense to me. 3 words to describe how I generally felt over the last 90 days. I felt productive, fulfilled, and nervous. And then this wasn't part of it, but I put unsure of progress, feeling underwhelmed, but also fulfilled. So I think that especially with the progress with this channel, I'm feeling that like I'm enjoying the work that I'm doing, but maybe it's not like resonating with a lot of people. And so, or just haven't found the people yet. I know, like you can't rush these kind of things, but you know, they're out there. Where is my biggest opportunity for growth? What areas of life will be my main focus over the next 90 days? So for spiritual and personal growth, I think that's where I can find the biggest opportunity. I put going to that event. Oh my God, what did I write? My writing has gotten worse over the years. Going to that event sparked a light in me to go after more community events and making more connections. Maybe going to a community event, maybe quarterly, monthly might be too soon for me. So this will be a change in an annual goal that I'm going to make, which is going to be 1 community event quarterly. So I went to 1 this quarter, so I'm going to be planning to go to 1 next quarter. Monthly is just, I think, too much pressure, and also finding the time to do that for now. And if I do 1 every month, that's great. But you know, I'm just easing into it. And then the other area is health and wellness. Weekly step goal was pretty successful. It doesn't feel as much pressure as daily, and I can make things up on the weekend or do things during the week. We'll change to weekly, adjusting accordingly. So far I have set the weekly step goals to 28,000. And then I think this week or this past week I hit like 32,000 steps, but we did do a lot of activities. And then so I'm thinking that over time I will like increase it gradually. So probably next month it'll still be 28k, and then maybe the next month I'll do like 30k or something like that. We'll see. I think that's all for the quarterly reflections. So that's how the quarter reflection was for the Makse Life. And this is how the March monthly reflection was. Yeah, I think in my next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my April my April goals and kind of setting that up in my planner for next week or for the next month. So that'll wrap up this video for the monthly reflections and quarterly reflection. It's just a reflections month, or this is just a reflection time, which is great because, it's good. It's good to like keep moving forward, but also it's really important to look back too. So I hope that this was helpful to some of you or to anybody. I hope that you're having a great March and a great start to spring. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I love you all so much, and I'll see you in my next one, which will be my April goals. Bye.